Welcoming guys to your final week of the NFL Week 18 recap. A lot of big things happened this week, a lot of decisions like the Chargers game and stuff like that. But we had started off with the Chiefs and Broncos game, 28-24 to the Chiefs. Touchdown by Chaos in the first to make it 7-0 to the Chiefs. Drew Lock got the Broncos back in the game, make it 7-7, and then 7-14. Field goal by the Chiefs to make it 10-14. Touchdown in the third by McKinnis in the third to make it 17-14, and then Jordan touchdown to make it 17-21. Field goal in the fourth to the Chiefs to make it 20-21. Touchdown in the fourth by the Chiefs plus 2-point conversion to make it 28-21 in the fourth with a field goal by the Broncos to make it 28-24 and a good win for the Chiefs. Cowboys versus Eagles 51-26. Tyree Jackson got Eagles off to a good start in the first to make it 0-7. Then Wilson got Cowboys back in the game, make it 7-7. 48-yard field goal to make it 10-7, and then a 38-yard field goal by the Eagles in the second to make it 10-10, and a second touchdown for Wilson in the game to make it 17-10. And Eagles got back in the game to make it 17-17. Schultz had 2 touchdowns in this game, so a good game for him to make it 23-17, and then 30-17 in the third. And then a Jake Elliott field goal to make it 30-20, and then 37-20, and then 51-26 was the final score. Good win for the Cowboys this week, and that has them for 12-5 at the end of the season. But Eagles last few weeks, they've had a really good last couple of weeks, and then they come to the Cowboys. The Cowboys come to them at home, and it's just one of those games. But then we had the Chargers versus the Raiders. The last spot for the playoffs for this game. This was a really good game though. Maybe I would say like the game of the weekend was this. Nothing else was gonna touch this game. Field goal by the Raiders to make it 0-3 in the first. 0-10 in the first by Austin. 0-10 in the first, and a touchdown by Austin to make it 7-10. 20th field goal for Austin to make it 14th, and 20th touchdown from Austin this season to make it 14-10. Then we go to the second half, and the Raiders are 14-17. 31-yard field goal by the Raiders in the third to make it 14-20, and then a red from touchdown in the third to make it 14-26. A field goal from the Raiders to make it 14-29. Palmer touchdown, 22-29 in the fourth. Carlson field goal in overtime to make it 29-32. Chargers field goal in overtime to make it 32-32. Then a field goal by Carlson to make it 32-35, and the Raiders are in the playoffs. And they've had a good season. I know they had the whole thing with John Gruber and that whole thing, but they're in the playoffs. They started off with a really great start to the season. Had a little thing with the whole manager, with the whole coach thing, but they're in the playoffs and great season for the Raiders. 49ers versus the Rams, 27-24. Field goal by Gray in the first to make it 0-3, then a Higbee touchdown to make it 0-10 to the Rams, and two touchdowns by the Higbee in this game to make it 0-17, and a 42-yard field goal for the 49ers to make it 3-10. Touchdown in the third by the 49ers to make it 10-17. First and goal by Jennings in the third to make it 17-17. Cooper Kupp touchdown to make it 17-24, and then Jennings got another touchdown in the game, second touchdown again for Jennings touchdown, 24-24 in the fourth, and then a field goal with the 49ers in overtime to make it 27-24 for the 49ers. Then we had the Steelers versus the Ravens. Steelers They was hoping that the Raiders were gonna get a win, so the Steelers could get into the playoffs, and they did. 16-13. Boswell field goal in the first, I think it's 3-0. In the first 24-yard field goal by the Ravens, make it 3-3. Murray touchdown in the third, make it 3-9. Boswell field goal to make it 6-10. Touchdown by Claypool to make it 13-10 in the fourth, and then Boswell field goal to make it 16-13 in overtime, and Steelers went on. You had the Packers versus the Lions, a shock win. The Lions win 30-37. Good win for the Lions. You can see that hopefully that in the draft you get some good picks. If you haven't seen my scouting report for Matt Corral, a cheap plug on this, it's in the description of this video. So check that out. If they get him in the draft, then and they build around him in this offseason, then in the next couple of years you can see the Lions not going maybe not challenging for a Super Bowl yet, but challenging and being competitive in the NFC North, and them consistently being not kind of like a joke, not kind of like a joke dumpster fire, what they have been for a decade. Like they could actually, when you look at that division, NFC North, like the Lions could be winning that division in the next couple of years, if they get their shit together. And but anyway, 30-37, great win for the Lions to get a win at home against Green Bay. I know a few weeks ago they beat the Cardinals, and then they get a good win here. You can see Dan Campbell's effect. He's taking kneecaps, Owen Hart style, and you can see it with this game. And it was a good win for the Lions, making for them. So, you know, they're not a great season, but you can see throughout the season, throughout the 18 weeks, that Dan Campbell has changed the mindset, and he's slowly but surely gonna change the Lions' fortunes going forward, because you know Jared Goff is not. You're not gonna get any further with Jared Goff, and now that Zimmer's gone, Nagy's gone, you know, if they get some good draft picks this offseason, then next year Detroit's looking a lot more exciting than it has in the last couple of years. Then we have the Colts versus the Jags. This was a shock win for the Jags, 11-26. We had a touchdown, 0-7 in the first from the Jags, and a field goal, 3-7. 22-yard field goal to make it 3-10. 20-yard field goal to make it 3-13. 3-16. Touchdown to Jags to make it 3-23. Field goal in the fourth to make it 3-26, and then a Michael Pittman touchdown and a 2-point conversion to make it 11-26. Then we had the Bengals versus the Browns, 16-21. I know that the Bengals won their division last week, so you know their mind wasn't on this game. This game didn't mean that much for them, as it did. Same for the Browns, really. The Browns are not in the playoffs, so they didn't care for it was a whatever game for the Browns, but they got the win. Landry touchdown the first wicket, 0-7. Johnson touchdown second wicket, 0-14. Henderson got the Bengals back in the game to make it 7-14 in the second. Then a 36-yard field goal in the third to make it 10-14 in the third. And then Felton touchdown in the fourth to make it 10-21. And then Evans touchdown to make it 16-21 to the Browns. Then we had the Washington versus Giants, two teams that are not playing for nothing. It's a whatever game. The Giants have fired Joe Judge has been fired tonight as I'm recording this Tuesday night. He has been fired. And it was 22-7 to the Washington football team. Saw a field goal to get 3-0 in the first. And then 6-0 in the third. And then touchdown by Washington to get 12-0 in the third. Swanton touchdown in the fourth to make it 12-7 in the fourth. Gibson touchdown in the fourth to make it 19-7, and 23-yard field goal to make it 22-7 to the Washington football team. And then we have Bears football. That's right, Bears football. The last time we have Nagy versus Zimmerman, Mike Zimmerman versus Matt Nagy, and they're gone. They're out of Minnesota and Chicago respectively. They were fired on Monday, and then I will do a video about Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, and that I'll go in more detail about that and give my full thoughts on that. Anyway, onto this game. We had 0-3 to the Bears. Andy Dalton, like, you're starting your quarterback that's not going to be your long-term vision. Like, Justin Fields should have started this game. Like, you're not in the playoff position. You're not playing for anything but pride. And you had Andy Dalton starting the game. Anyway, you had Santos field goal to make it 6-6, 12-0, and then it was 14-3, 14-10 in the third. Santos field goal to make it 17-10. Then Jefferson touchdown to make it 17-17, and then a KJ Osborne touchdown in the fourth to make it 17-24, and a Peterson touchdown in the fourth to make it 17-31. Bears football. Then we had the Titans versus the Texans, 28-25. The Titans had the number 1 seed, so congrats to them. Frisker had a touchdown in the second to make it 7-0 to the Titans, and a touchdown by AJ Brown in the second to make it 14-0 in the second. 21-0 in the third. Texans touchdown in the third to make it 21-7. Field goal by Texans to make it 21-10, and then touchdown in the fourth to make it 21-16. 28-18 in the fourth, and then 28-25 for the Titans to the win. Then we had the Pats versus the Dolphins. Another head coach has been fired. The Dolphins head coach has been fired. Waddle touchdown to make it 0-7, and Howard made the touchdown in the first to make it 0-14. 0-17 in the second. The Pats got into the game to make it 7-17 in the second. Field goal in third by the Pats to make it 10-17. Johnson touchdown in the third to make it 10-24. Touchdown by the Dolphins to make it 17-27. 24-33 in the fourth, and then touchdown in the fourth to make it 24-33. So the Dolphins won, and they beat the Pats. The Pats have got their eyes on the playoffs. So it was they had an off game, so they were thinking more of the playoffs. The Dolphins are not playing for anything in this game. Panthers versus the Buccaneers, 17-41. Hubbard 7-0 in the first. Suck up field goal to make it 17-3. Bell touchdown to make it 7-10. 7-17 in the third. Then a field goal from the Panthers to make it 10-17 in the third. Then a Evans touchdown to make it 7-24. Robbie Anderson touchdown in the fourth to make it 17-24. Suck up field goal in the fourth to make it 17-34. And then a touchdown by the Bucks to make it 17-41 the win. Then we had the Seahawks versus the Cardinals, 38-30. So is that going to be Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson's last game, respectively, in? Because I think one of them is going to leave. One or not, both of them is going to leave at the end of the season. So whoever that's going to be, who knows. Then we had the Jets versus the Bills. That was 10-27 to the Bills. Then we had the Saints versus the Falcons, 30-22 for the Saints. So yeah, that is my NFL Week 18 recap. The regular season is done. I will be still doing content though for like the playoffs and obviously the Super Bowl. So leave you guys thoughts in Week 18 in the comments. Check out the scout report I did earlier today on David Bell. I'm going to create like a playlist on this channel for like scout reports and other things like that. But that's it, guys. Week 18 is in the bag, and I will check you guys later. Peace.